Is Asheville market starting to cool off? Hi, this is 𝕊𝕍𝕊ℎ𝷸 with ℍ𝔸 Realty, powered by eXp Realty here in Asheville, North Carolina. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about living, breathing, working, going to school, you want to know where to live in Asheville and in the Asheville area, you need to hit that subscribe button and tap a little bell to get notified every time I make a new video. Thank you all so much who reached out to me, who continue to reach out to me pretty much on a daily basis. Last week, I had 5 new people contact me in one day. I appreciate each and every one of you, seriously. If you need any kind of help relocating to the Asheville area, if you have questions about the process, a process of buying a house, a process of relocating, locations, neighborhoods, towns around Asheville, feel free to reach out to me and my team. Our contact information is right here. We got your back when relocating to Asheville, North Carolina. So it's been over 18 months now since the world as we knew has changed, and this huge migration of people all over the country started and continue to happen. So more and more people are moving, not just in this area, but all over the country. And now we've seen several different patterns with the market, again, not just in the Asheville area, but all over the country. And a lot of people have questions. One of the biggest ones is the market cooling off? Do we see signs of the market start shifting? So in this video, I'm gonna share trends, what's happening in the market, why it's happening, the latest scoop on the market conditions, what I think will happen next, and when I think those changes might start happening. So stay tuned all the way till the end. Last year, after all the quarantines, after lockdowns, when we decided we're all gonna live, that we are actually gonna be allowed to do open houses, in-person showings and stuff like that, and people got more comfortable going out and looking at houses and buying houses and continued buying houses and selling houses, the market start picking up, and it hasn't stopped since. Bidding war after bidding war, houses were flying off the shelves. It took several attempts for me to put some of my clients under contract. Back then, a lot of sellers at the same time were not as comfortable as buyers would like them to put their houses on the market. So a lot of people were concerned about having all the people come through the houses, look at the houses. They were not sure about the future. They did not want to sell the house and not know where they were gonna go. So the inventory was super low, but a number of buyers was super high. So there was this huge discrepancy. And nothing really changed. A number of sales continue to go up compared to the same time last year. If you look at this graph, you'll see that the number of sales gone up significantly. So a lot more buyers are fighting for the same house than ever before. As an example, we started this year with a little over 2,000 homes for sale in Asheville metro area, and now 10 months in, we're down to 1,300 homes for sale in the Asheville area. Days on the market in Asheville metro area went down from 19 down to 8. So as the year went on, a lot of sellers got a little more comfortable putting their houses on the market. They came up with the help of good agents, came up with a better strategy on how to transition from their house to a new house. If you have questions about that, reach out to me and we can talk about more about that. If you're thinking about selling and you're not sure how the heck you're going to make this transition in this crazy market, there are some ways, and a lot of sellers take advantage of that. And of course, anytime anybody hears a market report in the local area from the realtor or anybody in the industry, keep hearing the same, that the market is hot, everything flies off the shelf. We need more inventory, let's sell your house, you can move on, sell high, all those things. And while that's true, I think a lot of sellers also got in their heads that just because the market is hot and everything flies off the shelf, they can pretty much put any price tag on their house and it's gonna fly off the shelf. Not so much. The rules, as it turns out, of pricing your property correctly still apply even in this market. And the properties that are overpriced, shocker, stay on the market longer. So going back to a lot of questions that I get these days from people who are watching the market and who notice that there's a lot of price reductions, it goes back to the fact that those houses are overpriced. And again, I think it's because a lot of sellers got in their head and a lot of realtors will say anything to their clients just to get the listing. And the houses end up staying on the market and then having to have price reduction, which doesn't look good, especially in this market when everyone knows that houses do go quickly. And if the house stays on the market for 30 days, a lot of my clients ask me, so what's wrong with this house? How come this one is not selling? Simple answer is it's overpriced. There might be some other issues, but most of the time it's the price, especially in this market. Another reason I think a lot of people get an illusion that the market starts to cool off is because we see a lot of houses come back on the market. Again, I don't think it's because the market is cooling off. I mean, clearly the data shows that it's not cooling off. It keeps going strong, but it's because a lot of buyers walk away from properties. So that happens, I think, and I'm speaking from my experience of helping dozens of people just this year alone. A lot of buyers feel the pressure to put an offer on the house, to jump and secure a house, because everything, when they lost several bidding wars, they know better than to wait and see and maybe lowball the offer. So a lot of buyers put an offer, good enough offer, they get the house just because they feel the pressure. Maybe their rental is coming up, they don't live here, they have timeline, for whatever reason. But then something else comes along and they're like, oh, well, that property is a lot better, so we're going to put an offer on it. And if they get it, they say goodbye to the original property that they are under contract for. And they don't care about $1,000 or a couple $1,000s of due diligence money that they put in with the offer, because it is worth for them to walk away. Again, doesn't look good for the sellers, and because they have to go back on the market immediately. When the house goes back on the market, all the buyers and the agents are thinking, well, what's wrong with this house? Something came up on the inspection. What happened? Something's wrong. So a lot of times, if it was a hot property, it's gonna go quickly still, but it doesn't look good for the sellers. Also, what I want to mention is that in this market, there's an opportunity for both sellers and buyers to get screwed, so to speak. Buyers feel this pressure to jump on the house, make an offer as soon as possible, bid way over maybe sometimes than they would want to, but that's the only way to secure the property. And they feel like sometimes maybe they overpay, especially when they are asked to include appraisal waiver with their offer. And sellers get screwed when their house goes back on the market, when those buyers walk away. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a tough situation. It can be a tough situation in the market for both buyers and sellers. To recap, what's happening in this market and why I think it gives an illusion that the market is cooling off are two things. One is that a lot of sellers overprice their houses and agents agree to any price just to get that listing, and then it stays on the market, because even in this market, the rules of coming up with the right price strategy still apply. And then the second one is that a lot of buyers walk away from contracts because they either found something better and it's worth for them to lose a couple $1,000s of due diligence money, or they got cold feet, or because we have a lot of sight unseen offers, those buyers realize after visiting in person that this in fact is not the right property or the area for them. So this is what's happening, and this is why I think we have an illusion of market cooling off, but in fact it is not. It is far from it. When something's gonna happen, when the market's gonna turn. And yes, nobody has a crystal ball. Unlike last time, we obviously have a different situation. Last time we had a lot of artificial mortgages, so to speak. This time we have artificial interest rates that keep the interest alive, and a lot of buyers have this illusion, or they think that, or they're made to think that this is the money is cheap, and they can afford a better house, a bigger house with low interest rates. So with that, I think we can start seeing change whenever at least interest rates start going up. When interest rates start going up, the number of buyers will shrink, because there will be less people on the market. There will be less people who can afford the same house, because with high interest rates, they will have higher mortgage payments, higher everything. So the same house will cost them more. And when we have less buyers and let's say the same number of sellers, it's gonna start evening out. Hopefully that's what's gonna happen. When's that gonna happen? I don't know. Nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes. I wish we knew, and then everyone would be rich, right? Nobody knows, but I think that's at least that is one of the things that we need to kind of keep paying attention to. As soon as those interest rates start going up, as soon as that shift happens, then we're gonna see something start happening with in the housing market. Until then, I don't see what else can happen. I mean, I don't know everything, and nobody does, or majority of people don't. There's speculation. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about what's happening, when some changes might start happen. So drop your comments and let's have a conversation. I mean, I would like to know as well. It's a tough market, and it's tough emotionally and mentally and financially for a lot of people, because they have to have plan A, B, and C sometimes when they try to plan a move across country, or even across town these days. So drop your comments, drop your questions if you have more questions. If you have more questions about, like I said, the process of relocating, the process of buying a house, areas, locations, anything about surrounding towns, counties, feel free to reach out to me and my team. Our contact information is right here. If you want to continue getting those notifications about new videos, hit that subscribe button and tap a little bell to get notified every time I make a new video. And check out some more videos about area, what it's like to live here, where to live, maybe answer some questions about what it's like to live in this area. And thank you for watching. I will see you next time.